afternoon, everybody. So we are delighted to welcome you to this webinar on empowering the early childhood workforce through registered apprenticeship partnerships with education institutions, presented in collaboration with the Council for Professional Recognition and the Early Childhood Workforce Connector. Today's webinar is part of a series dedicated to highlighting registered apprenticeship programs in the field of early childhood education. This underscores our commitment to providing knowledge and resources for professional growth in this field. So we have a few quick bits of housekeeping. First, to turn on closed captions, click the three dots labeled More in the bottom right corner and select Captions from the menu. If you have any questions about this, our team can help you with that. Additionally, all participants should be muted upon entry, as well as have your video off. There will be an opportunity between sections and at the end of the presentations for Q&A when you are welcome to unmute and ask your questions during these times. We also have team members monitoring the chat, so you can pop your questions in there throughout the presentation. The slide deck will be shared following this presentation, and a recording will be available on the Council Alumni Network. Let's dive in. Now first, let's get to know our presenters. I'm Haley Brush, the Public Policy and Advocacy Manager here at the Council for Professional Recognition. I started my career in early childhood systems building at the local level, first in Philadelphia and then in DC, where I focused on providing technical assistance and emergency funding supports before joining the Council. Here, I lead our policy efforts, including coordinating our federal and state strategy, policy-related communications, and our advocate engagement. I'd also like to introduce Marjorie Cohen, the project manager for the Early Childhood Workforce Connector, who has over 20 years of experience in education and workforce development policy and research, technical assistance, program management, and project leadership. Marjorie supports early childhood education providers, in-demand sector employers, secondary and post-secondary education institutions, state and local agencies, and other key stakeholders to provide high-quality registered apprenticeship programs for the ECE workforce. Also with us today is Sandra Kowalczyk, who has over 20 years of experience in management positions in both the nonprofit and for-profit sectors domestically and internationally. She is currently the Partner Relationship Manager for the Council for Professional Recognition with an early childhood education focus on career and technical education, workforce development, and council partnerships with states and associations. The Council for Professional Recognition promotes improved performance and recognition of professionals in the early childhood education of children ages birth to 5 years old. To date, over 1 million CDA credentials have been issued around the world. Sandra's background includes educational partnerships, business development, government relations, and global marketing and communications, including over 15 years at Discovery Communications. She earned her BA from American University School of International Service in DC and an MSc from the London School of Economics and Political Science in the UK. Also, meet April McDonough, a multifaceted professional excelling in grants management and instructional design. As a grants management specialist, April assists individuals and organizations in securing funding for educational projects, leveraging her expertise to transform businesses and educational institutions. With a background in instructional design, April has a proven track record of developing engaging online courses and materials tailored to diverse learners. She brings a wealth of experience in coaching, mentoring, curriculum development, and communication skills to her role as a subject matter expert in higher education on the ECWC team. Okay, so let's jump right in. Today, we'll unpack a powerful agenda. First, we'll gear up with a deep dive into our partnership with the Early Childhood Workforce Connector and explore their mission. Next, we'll look at the role of education institutions in early childhood apprenticeships, in early childhood education registered apprenticeships, and we'll look at connecting with related education partners. And finally, we'll discover the amazing supports available through the ECWC that can help your programs thrive. Get ready to take notes. This session is packed with actionable insights. Many of you here today may already be connected with the Council and our work, but I'd like to share a little bit about what we do to make sure everyone is on the same page. We administer the Child Development Associate, or CDA credential, which is the most widely recognized credential in early childhood education. It is nationally recognized, transferable, and competency-based. It is a key stepping stone on the path to career advancement in early childhood education. To be awarded the credential, candidates must complete an assessment process and demonstrate that they are able to put their knowledge of the CDA competency standards into practice in their daily work with children and families. Candidates can earn their credential in any of the settings that we offer: infant, toddler, preschool, family childcare, home visiting, or military. Being awarded the CDA means a candidate is qualified to be a lead teacher in the classroom. The Council for Professional Recognition and the Early Childhood Workforce Connector have partnered to support credentialed career pathways for early childhood educators. Registered apprenticeship programs are an important investment in the early childhood workforce, providing high-quality professional learning and equitable compensation. This webinar series will explore how registered apprenticeships provide a professional development pathway to develop skills, advance and sustain successful careers, and strengthen the ECE workforce. The Council for Professional Recognition is a leader in credentialing early childhood educators worldwide. Together with the Early Childhood Workforce Connector, we are working toward advancing the careers of ECE professionals through the Child Development Associate and U.S. Department of Labor credentialing. We will host these monthly webinar sessions leading up to the 2024 Early Educators Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. in October. The Early Childhood Workforce Connector will be presenting alongside their partners to dive deeper into registered apprenticeship programs for ECE. And with that, I will kick it off to Marjorie.
Thanks so much, Haley. So you've heard us say multiple times ECWC, Early Childhood Workforce Connector. So who are we? So we are one of two new early childhood education registered apprenticeship industry intermediaries. And the Early Childhood Workforce Connector, or ECWC, promotes developing, launching, and expanding registered apprenticeship programs to support and sustain a diverse, inclusive, well-qualified, and well-compensated early childhood education workforce. ECE registered apprenticeship programs with high quality, accessible, supportive, and equitable early childhood program employers lift the entire community, including the local workforce. Strong and inclusive and robust early childhood ecosystem contributes to the health and well-being of young children and their families, as well as the broader economy. And as a U.S. Department of Labor funded early childhood education intermediary, ECWC provides customized technical assistance, including help with curriculum development, outreach and recruitment, mentor training, accessing available funding, and much more. And we are so thrilled to be partnered with the Council. So let's do a quick recap of what an early childhood education registered apprenticeship program actually is. So we've discussed in our previous webinars, registered apprenticeship is a structured Department of Labor approved training model. I just want to quickly give an overview of what a registered apprenticeship is before we dive into the main webinar. The components of a registered apprenticeship include that it's industry-led, which means that programs are industry vetted and approved to align with industry standards, and that apprentices are trained for highly skilled, high-demand occupations like those for early childhood. It is a paid job. Apprenticeships are in fact jobs. Apprentices earn a progressive wage as their skills and productivity increases. It contains structured on-the-job learning. Programs provide structured on-the-job training to prepare for a successful career, which includes instruction from an experienced mentor. And then there's supplemental education. So apprentices are provided supplemental classroom education based on the employer's unique training needs and to ensure quality and success. One of the biggest components is diversity. Registered apprenticeship programs are designed to reflect the communities in which they operate through strong non-discrimination, anti-harassment, and recruitment practices to ensure access, equity, and inclusion. We can't forget about quality and safety. Apprentices are afforded worker protections while receiving rigorous training to equip them with the skills they need to succeed, and the proper training and supervision they need to be safe. Also, it's very important that the safety extends to the children in their care. And then finally, credentials. So apprentices earn a portable, nationally recognized credential within early childhood. So let's look at the system for a moment. So the U.S. Department, the U.S. Apprenticeship Assistant system, sorry, I don't know where my brain is. The U.S. Apprenticeship System is a little on the complicated side. So on this map, you'll see light blue and dark blue states. The light blue states are those where registered apprenticeship programs are facilitated by the U.S. Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship. That means that they're federally registered. The dark blue states are overseen by state apprenticeship agencies. And these states follow the rules and regulations from the U.S. Department Office of Apprenticeship, as well as adhering to state-specific guidance. Basically, there are two sets of sort of ways to register your program. Either you go federally through the Department of Labor's Office of Apprenticeship, or OA, or you go through state apprenticeship agencies, and those are individual states, and they are known as SAAs. We're going to hear from folks from Colorado a little bit later, and if you notice, the state here is dark blue, so that means it's an SAA state, and the state approves the registered apprenticeship. So we talk a lot about registered apprenticeship, but some people have know that there are other work-based learning opportunities out there. And so take a little look at this visual comparison of work-based learning programs. So on the very far right column, we've highlighted what you're guaranteed to get with a registered apprenticeship program. There's also sort of non-registered apprenticeships, and then internships, which I think most people have heard of. A registered apprenticeship is a commitment to increasing knowledge and skill through industry-approved on-the-job training and coursework, as well as mentorship. Again, those are all the components that I mentioned earlier. Registered apprenticeship also provides access to funding and other resources from federal and state programs, many of which we have gone through in the past couple webinars. And if you have questions, I strongly suggest that you take a look at those previous webinars. And then the other thing I just want to remind everybody that the thing that everybody comes out of a registered apprenticeship with when they complete is a nationally recognized credential. So finally, just sort of thinking about why would somebody want to do a registered apprenticeship? What are the benefits? So for communities, registered apprenticeship helps early childhood educators and employers, as well as the community, flourish by supporting high quality, accessible, and equitable learning opportunities that enable them to enrich the lives of children, families, and communities, while also increasing access to childcare, which we all know is a challenge. For employers, registered apprenticeship increases employee retention. The data from the U.S. Department of Labor right now is that currently 90% of apprentices across all industries remain with their host employer after completing a registered apprenticeship program. Employers also benefit from customized workforce training that meets the needs of their specific workforce. Apprentices benefit from progressive wages as they gain more knowledge and skills. And as I mentioned, just to let y'all know again, apprentice graduates receive nationally recognized credentials from the U.S. Department of Labor that never expire. Now, I'm going to turn it back over to April to learn what role education institutions can play in registered apprenticeship. April?
Thank you, Marjorie. To kick off our next session, let's go ahead and launch a poll. So thinking about your early childhood education, where did you learn the most about being an early childhood educator? Was it middle school or earlier, high school, career and technical college, community and technical college, or a university? We'll give this a few seconds and we'll learn as we go through. We'll jump into secondary education and learn how these can support and potentially give you some ideas on thinking back on how you have learned those. So again, where did you learn the most about being an early childhood educator? I'm not able to see the poll results at this time. Oh, here they're coming up. At the university level, excellent. That was our highest our score. So we're going to talk about each of these as we go through. So let's go on to the next slide and let's dive right into the role of education institutions in ECE Registered Apprenticeship, or RA, as we go through. Education institutions play a crucial role in shaping the future of our early childhood education workforce by providing structured career pathways through pre-apprenticeship programs, youth apprenticeship initiatives, and related technical instruction. These institutions ensure aspiring educators receive comprehensive training and support they need to succeed. Let's dive in and look at the education system in the U.S. We thought it was important to kind of put out the education system in the U.S. and kind of bring it all together and how it supports early childhood education. So the education system in the U.S. is made up of many layers, all of whom work to support and produce qualified workers. Each layer or milestone contributes to the building of foundational knowledge and skills necessary for successful progression in fields such as early childhood education and early childhood education registered apprenticeship. Pre-K programs are designed for children 3 to 5 years old and provide the foundational learning both academically and socially. Then elementary education serves children kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade and focus on fundamental academic skills. Middle or junior high school typically encompasses grades 6 to 8 or 7 to 9 and helps students transition from elementary to high school, offering more specialized subjects, fostering independence and critical thinking. High schools include grades typically 9 through 12, and this education prepares students for higher education, career training, or entry into the workforce. Community and technical colleges, along with bachelor's degree programs or undergraduate programs, offer a wide range of certification courses, degrees, training programs that provide practical and technical skills, preparing students for specific careers or serving as a stepping stone to graduate degree programs and open doors to many professional careers and further academic pursuits. Graduate programs make up master degree programs and doctoral degree programs. Master degree programs are advanced academic programs that usually require 1 or 2 years of study beyond the bachelor's degree and offer specialized knowledge and skills in a specific field, enhancing career prospects and expertise in professional areas such as early childhood education. Doctoral programs are the highest level academic achievement, requiring several years of study beyond the master's degree, and these programs focus on original research, advanced theoretical knowledge, and practical application in various fields. Graduates in doctoral programs often pursue careers in academia, research, or high-level professional roles. But let's not forget career and technical education, which is typically found in both secondary and post-secondary high school community colleges, and is an education pathway that equips students with practical skills and knowledge applicable to specific careers and industries like early childhood education. Career and technical education can be found in comprehensive high schools and in some states, and CTE or career and technical education centers in other states or both. And we'll dive into that a bit more as we progress through the presentation. So let's look at specific supports these systems provide. So education institutions provide the foundational knowledge and technical training essential for apprenticeships. This includes core academic knowledge in subjects like math, science, and language arts, as well as specialized vocational skills aligned with apprenticeship requirements. By developing soft skills such as communication and teamwork and problem solving, education systems prepare apprentices for both the demands of their chosen trade. Additionally, education institutions offer necessary certifications and credentials, ensuring apprentices meet industry standards and are qualified for their roles. Education also fosters continuous learning, professional development, encouraging apprentices to pursue further training and advanced degrees by bridging the gap between theory and practice through industry partnerships. Apprentices gain practical hands-on experience that complements classroom learning, and customized training programs tailored to specific industry needs and mentorship from experienced instructors provide valuable support and guidance. These efforts collectively enhance the effectiveness of apprenticeship program, contributing to a skilled, competent workforce. So let's move on to a poll and then dive into secondary education. So audience poll. Did you participate in any career exploration activities while in middle or high school? Yes, in middle school and or high school provided career exploration. Some we talked about careers, or no. So when you were in middle or high school, what was your career exploration like? I see the chat is lively and active. That's amazing as we wait for everyone to get their answers in. And when this pops up, so it's equal across the board. They have, everyone received some, but then a majority said no, which is very interesting. Let's dive in a little bit more to our next slide and talk about secondary education and then dive in. So secondary education refers to middle and high school education, and secondary education plays a crucial role in the context of early childhood education by preparing future educators, fostering the understanding of child development and early learning principles. And here is how secondary education can support ECE and ECE registered apprenticeship. Our education system offers a structured approach to career readiness through various stages of work-based learning and career exploration. Starting with career awareness, students learn about work through essential skills such as job interview techniques and professional etiquette. So next, students engage in career exploration, which allows students to gain a broader understanding of the potential career pathways. Students then focus on career preparation as they advance through their secondary education. And here they learn about opportunities like pre-apprenticeship or youth apprenticeship and support career exploration by applying hands-on experience in their field of interest. And finally, students undergo career training. This stage prepares them for work through dual enrollment programs, registered apprenticeships, equipping them with the necessary credentials and practical skills to enter the workforce competently. Each stage progressively increases in complexity and commitment and resources, ensuring competencies and skills for success in the future ECE-RA. So let's look at how secondary education supports youth apprenticeship, youth registered apprenticeship, and their similarities and differences. Youth apprenticeship are programs for high school students that combine academic learning with on-the-job training in various industries, providing practical skills and work experience through partnerships between schools and local businesses. These programs are flexible, varying in structure, duration, and industry focus, and may or may not lead to a certification. While very similar, youth registered apprenticeship offers a more formal, structured program registered with the U.S. Department of Labor or state apprenticeship agency, designed to meet specific industry standards with both on-the-job training and classroom instruction. Registered apprenticeship results in a nationally recognized credential, as Marjorie mentioned earlier, offering consistent and standardized training experiences and a clear career pathway. Many apprenticeship and registered apprenticeships utilize credentials like the Child Development Associate, CDA, that Haley mentioned earlier. So let's hear from Sandra Kolchek as we dive into how the CDA can be utilized in secondary education. Sandra?
Thanks so much, April. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit about our high school CDA program and how it can align to apprenticeship programs. Going to give you a little bit of history first. We started this in 2011, believe it or not. That's when the council began allowing high school students to enrolled in CTE programs to get the CDA credential. And over the years, especially between 2012 and honestly 2019, we just saw more and more interest from folks. So over COVID, we developed a book called the Child Development Associate CDA Handbook for High School, a guide to advocacy and implementation. It was launched in April 2021. And it's a guide with tools and resources that provide a framework for starting a program. And most of all, it's free. It's one of the council's only free books, and it's downloadable. And through our website, through our high school section, you'll be able to go in there and you can download it there. And there's a lot of other materials for you. And as part of this, in May 22, we started a technical program to assist people with questions on this. And if you again go into our website to our high school section, there, if you scroll to the bottom, you can actually fill out a form and ask your questions. And I actually get back to you and provide about a half an hour of technical assistance, just talking with you a little bit about your program, what you'd like to do, and can provide a lot of additional resources. Next slide. And just briefly, I'm going to tell you what is required. It's the CDA in high school is really no different than our regular CDA. It just involves more teacher involvement and mentoring of the students. You can be a junior or senior enrolled in a high school career and tech program, and you can start classes as early as a freshman or sophomore. And like our regular CDA, you complete 120 clock hours of formal education with 10 or more hours in the CDA subject areas. And you also have to complete 480 hours of work experience within one of the 4 settings of our requirements. And you can be paid staff or volunteer. And you also complete our professional portfolio, and this is where it's a little different with the students. Their portfolio must contain a copy of an official letter from a principal or a senior school official on letterhead noting the training. Next slide. So mapping youth apprenticeships to the high school CDA. Our programs are the best first step for candidates. Starting either a pre-apprenticeship or youth apprenticeship work experience. And registering your CTE program can create an infrastructure to get students paid while completing their required 480 hours. Because without an apprenticeship link, you can either do it paid or unpaid in high school, but it's great to actually align with an apprenticeship program, because then as it's noted here, an infrastructure can be created to help get those students paid, which is great. And also mentorship can look and function differently, with youth and adults, but our high school CDA, you can foster a very close relationship with the advisors who can guide the students. Next slide. Quickly, I'm going to talk about the benefits for students. It can include education offered concurrently or in the same cycle as their workforce prep and training. They can graduate career ready with our nationally recognized credential. Obviously, they'll have a core knowledge of child development, potential to earn college credit, gain valuable skills, and also obviously gain the knowledge, skills, and confidence to work with young children. And one thing I wanted to add here, this really helps with career pathways. Students getting the CTA in high school usually follow paths that can include working at a center, either as an assistant teacher or move on to being a director. Some move on to get either an AA or BA degree in early childhood education. And some earning credits as well. But then most interesting that a lot of folks don't think about, that we've noted actually since the promotion of our new handbook and just involvement with our career and tech sessions, many students are now using the CDA as added value, a stepping stone to further their education. For instance, we're seeing many students who are looking to be pediatricians or child psychologists and add the CDA to their resume as added value in the fierce competition when applying to medical or other schools. And in particular, the social and behavioral aspects of our CDA subject areas that's really what's great interest to those folks as they further their careers. Next slide. So looking ahead, registering CDA-CTE programs can promote equity, as I mentioned earlier, and students who previously would not have been able to spend time on unpaid hours will now have more opportunities as paid apprenticeships multiply nationally. And more states are now looking to identify and maximize ECE funding for equitable and sustained expansion of registered youth apprenticeship programs. So we look forward, as this is the first step in our continuing conversations with the CDA, with youth apprenticeships. And I'm happy to answer questions later or give additional information offline. Back to you, April.
Thank you, Sandra. So next we're going to dive into an audience poll before we dive into post-secondary institutions. When you think about how institutions of higher education may play a role in ECE registered apprenticeship component, which component comes to mind as the most supportive component that you think of? Is it the related technical instruction, program sponsor, articulation agreements, recruitment and outreach, or mentorship? Which component plays the most crucial role? All of these are very important, but when you think about higher ed, which one just comes to mind for you? All right. Well, we have a split, but first, related technical instruction and mentorship was second. That's great. Let's go ahead and dive into post-secondary education. Next slide. Post-secondary education plays a vital role in supporting early childhood education and early childhood education registered apprenticeship programs. By offering advanced coursework, professional credentials, and practical experience, these institutions prepare students for successful careers in ECE. Now let's explore the support post-secondary offers ECE and ECERA. Post-secondary education includes community and technical colleges, usually 2 to 4 year institutions. And these colleges support ECE by offering specialized programs like career and technical education, certificates, and degrees, and often provide hands-on and practical experience in ECE settings. Universities offer advanced degrees, bachelor's, master's, and doctoral programs, and prepare ECE professionals for leadership roles within the ECE field. They also support ECE registered apprenticeship at times by accepting the role as sponsor, providing RTI, supporting recruitment, outreach, and mentorship within the ECE field. Let's look at post-secondary support for registered apprenticeship. We just touched on some of the ways that post-secondary institutions offer various avenues to support your early childhood education registered apprenticeship program, but there's more. As we mentioned, they can serve as the RTI provider or related technical instruction, delivering this related technical instruction that complements on-the-job training, ensuring apprentices gain the necessary theoretical knowledge and practical skills. They can act as program sponsors to manage the administrative responsibilities and ensure compliance with industry standards and regulations. Additionally, they can support or establish mentorship programs that connect apprentices with experienced professionals and faculty, offering guidance and support and real-world insight into their chosen career. By leveraging the expert faculty members, post-secondary institutions provide high-quality instruction and support, enhancing the learning experience for apprentices. And post-secondary can conduct regular curriculum reviews to ensure that training programs remain current, relevant, and aligned with industry standards and technological advancements. These comprehensive support mechanisms collectively enhance the effectiveness and quality of the ECE registered apprenticeship programs, contributing to the development of skilled and competent early childhood educators. Post-secondary institutions play several crucial roles in sustaining registered apprenticeship programs. They facilitate articulation agreements that allow apprentices to earn college credit for their apprenticeship training, creating pathways to further education and advanced degrees. Through the recruitment and outreach efforts, these institutions attract potential apprentices and employers, promoting the benefits of registered apprenticeship and fostering partnerships with industry experts and stakeholders. They also recognize and award credit for prior learning by offering students college credit for their work experience and certifications, enabling apprentices to accelerate their education and career advancement based on existing skills and knowledge. For example, in Michigan, students who enter an ECE associate's degree with a Child Development Associate CDA certificate can earn credit for 3 courses towards their associate's degree. And additionally, post-secondary institutions serve as a pipeline for skilled workers by preparing apprentices with the necessary skills and knowledge to meet the industry demand, thus supporting the growth of your ECE workforce. They also provide financial support options such as scholarships, grants, tuition assistance to help the apprentice manage the cost associated with their education and training. We're going to hear from Amy West from Red Rocks Community College. And Amy is an early childhood workforce specialist with Child Care Innovations at Red Rocks Community College with over 20 years of experience in early childhood education. She supports individuals on their journey to complete their Child Care Development Specialist apprenticeship program, and she is thrilled to be back at Red Rock Community College, where she was a prior student, earning her Director's Certificate and AAS in Early Childhood Education. She's enjoyed many early childhood education roles, including coach, teacher, and director. Over to you, Amy.
Thank you, April. I'm excited to share a little bit of our program and what we're doing here in Colorado. So let me first give you just a little bit of history about Child Care Innovations and how our journey began. Child Care Innovations is an auxiliary department of Red Rocks Community College with multiple divisions. So we have apprenticeship, quality improvement, coaching, CCR&R, licensing, and we house the Triad Early Childhood Council. Our apprenticeship program actually started back in 2000. After the state asked for an early childhood council to start an apprenticeship program. Over the next 12 years, we have approximately 150 apprentices that completed the program with us. After a pause due to funding, Child Care Innovations began to work again in apprenticeship and developed the Child Care Development Specialist Apprenticeship in 2018. The focus was on ensuring that apprentices could get the qualifications they needed through the educational pathways that they chose. Our offices are located, if you're familiar with Colorado, are located in Denver, but we are a statewide apprenticeship. This is important to us because we want to be able to meet those underserved childcare populations across the state. We also strive to meet learners where they are, giving them an individualized plan so that they can create the pathway they want to get to where they want to be. Our apprentices vary from new, just entering the field, to having many years of experience but wanting to add formal education, and keep that learning. We also have apprentices that hold degrees in other areas, but have found that they love working with young children and want to get involved in early childhood education. Our apprenticeship has 2 pathways, early childhood teacher, and then also a director qualification. We support the apprentices by providing a workforce specialist, which is my role at Child Care Innovations, an on-site mentor chosen by their employer sponsor, and then also financial supports to help them along the way. It's a competency-based apprenticeship that includes 306 related technical instruction hours and completion of 86 Colorado competencies for early childhood educators and professionals. We were previously a time-based apprenticeship, but found that competencies allowed a better demonstration of knowledge and skills that teachers apply every day in the classroom as they're educating and caring for young children. By learning through RT hours and then implementing their new skills, they build a mastery of each competency over time. This approach helps engage apprentices and encourage collaboration with the apprentice and the mentor. We have found that by having a standardized method of demonstration through the competencies, our apprentices complete their apprenticeship with a solid foundation. We also work with apprentices to make sure that their RTI is aligning with the Colorado Professional Development Information System, or as we call it here in Colorado, PDIS. PDIS is our state platform for trainings and where early childhood professionals can apply and track their credentials and qualifications. Colorado is one of the states where you don't necessarily have to have that teaching certificate to be an early childhood educator. There's multiple pathways to become qualified. We help each apprentice understand which pathway is the best fit for them, and then help them design their RTI to fit their needs. They have access to education through multiple sources. So we use the CDA, alternative trainings, and then college coursework to help them complete the RTI hours. And then we also make sure that all of our trainings and coursework are approved through PDIS and meet all licensing requirements for the state. If an apprentice chooses a college coursework pathway at Red Rocks Community College, we do have stackable credentials, meaning that each course an apprentice takes at Red Rocks can help build to another level of early childhood education. For an example, if they're working on their early childhood teacher credential, they can use those classes then towards their early childhood education credential. We had an exciting new adventure start this year. Degreed Apprenticeship was something new to Childcare Innovations and Red Rocks Community College. Our pilot program started just this year. It was in January, and we were excited that we had 6 apprentices complete 9 courses during the pilot program. And we're very excited that we have about approximately, and I think this number will actually grow, 30 apprentices that will be participating in the Degreed Apprenticeship option this fall. Through collaboration with the Early Childhood Education Department, we created a Degreed Apprenticeship model that allows apprentices to earn college credit using previous experience in combination with some targeted trainings. The 9 Degreed Apprenticeship courses are all competency-based and have been crosswalked to match both the Colorado competencies for early childhood educators and the college course competencies. The remaining 6 courses are practicum-based or courses that the team felt required more information and we best taught through traditional coursework. In addition to trainings, apprentices also create a portfolio during their semester. This collection of demonstrated artifacts includes conversations with their mentors, observations to show how they're applying their learning, and items that they're already using in their classroom on a daily basis, such as their lesson plans, their parent newsletters, or documentation they're taking on their children. Our mentors play a huge role in the process by having weekly conversation, observing and documenting how apprentices are learning in the classroom, and then these notes are also turned in with their portfolios at the end of the semester. While the course is held over the entire semester, the apprentices have maximum flexibility in turning in their training certificates and their portfolio artifacts. So this allows the apprentices to work at their pace that fits their lives, because what we have learned, apprentices have those full-time jobs, they still have their families at home that they're taking care of too. And so we want to make sure that we're supporting them and helping their, that they have that ability to kind of control their education. At the end of each course, they receive a Red Rocks Community College transcript with the course and the 3 credit hours listed, which can be used in PDIS towards their new credentials or continuing their education towards another college certificate or degree. The Degreed Apprenticeship model has also helped with the cost of tuition. In the spring, apprenticeship students could take up to 5 Degreed apprenticeship courses, so approximately 15 credit hours for $535. Typically for an in-state Colorado student, tuition can run between $150 and $300 per credit hour, making the Degreed Apprenticeship a huge financial help. The remaining courses for the Degreed Apprenticeship are also offered virtually or online so that we can still reach everyone in the state and help them meet those goals. We found that a well-rounded comprehensive training program with a supportive mentoring has really increased the outcomes of retention and sustainability in early childhood. Apprentices who are completing their program and earning their credentials are highly likely to remain in the field and then continue their education. Our goal is to continue researching methods to help not only our apprentices, but our mentors and also our employer sponsors, so they have long-term success in the early childhood field. Thank you. April, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Amy. That was an amazing example of how post-secondary is supporting registered apprenticeship and early childhood education. So we learned a wealth of information, including how secondary education, CTE, youth apprenticeship, post-secondary, all support ECE. Now let's take a dive and talk about some adult education. So adult education, adult learning plays a critical role in preparing individuals for careers in ECE and ECE registered apprenticeship by providing a foundation for educators. These programs ensure that adults can meet the entry requirements and improve accessibility of training opportunities. They offer flexible learning options, including essential qualifications, pre-apprenticeship, high school equivalency programs, which are a crucial building block for foundational skills and knowledge needed for job readiness. Adult education promotes lifelong learning, offering diverse programs such as adult basic education, high school equivalency, vocational training, professional development, language acquisition, and professional enrichment courses. These programs can also provide hands-on experience, which enhances the confidence and employability and facilitating a smooth transition to higher education pathways or full apprenticeship programs. All right, let's dive into our next audience poll. How would you say your current relationship is with your local education institutions? Are they good for both secondary and post-secondary? Good for secondary only? Good for only post-secondary, could be better, or no relationship yet? Hi, Marjorie. As we wait for the answers to come in, you popped on. I'm assuming there's a question.
There is, and if I'm getting this wrong, Melanie, please let me know. But Melanie has a question, and I believe it's for Amy, which is, do you have specializations for the teacher option, such as infant and toddler or special needs?
So we work with each individual apprentice. Sorry, my video just turned off. I don't know why it's not staying on. Okay, now I think I'm on.
Yeah.
We work with each individual apprentice. So currently, I have an apprentice that is working on their infant supervisor as they work through those stackable credentials. So we really do work with each individual apprentice. For Colorado, anything that's special ed would be looking more at that BA, MA, and higher. So we definitely can help set them up as they're working through their earlier credentials and their AA, so that they're on the right way to that path.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So
for the Amy, before you jump off, Amy, I have a question for you from the Q&A.
Okay.
Hi. So we have a question from Evelyn, and she was wondering who is eligible to apply for your apprenticeship program, and do you have to be a Colorado resident?
So yes, you do have to be a Colorado resident. We start at age 16. And the biggest thing is, obviously, since it is an apprenticeship, they also need to be able to work at the same time. But we have had some of those younger students who maybe work part-time in their apprenticeship. Just takes a little bit longer than the typical 2 years. But yes, for our apprenticeship, it is Colorado.
Thank you, Amy. Evelyn, I'll respond to you. ECWC can do some research and see if there is a program available in your area. Thank you.
Yeah, I do want to just jump in and say that there are registered apprenticeship programs like Amy's, like Red Rocks, but not as special, across the country. And ECWC is working with a number of them. And so we'd be happy to help you sort of think through if there's somebody near you.
Excellent. All right, so really quickly, thinking about our time. So it looks like we have a pretty good, across the audience poll, a pretty good span of relationships with secondary and post-secondary institutions. So now we're going to talk about connecting with your education partners. We've explored the role of education institutions. Let's see how to make those connections. So connecting with your secondary, which is middle school and high school institutions, you need to find the right person. So begin by searching online for your local Department of Education or county school website to find contact information for public, private, and charter schools in your area. And then look for the school administration and programs that are being offered in ECE. And that includes connecting with potentially principals, vice principals, guidance counselors, dual enrollment program coordinators, all of whom work with students and communities and provide support for education opportunities and career benefits that can raise awareness about your program and support your needs. Also, look at the school social media site like LinkedIn and Facebook to learn about new initiatives and opportunities, attend board meetings, and then make a cold call to the school or school system and have the information that you need that they can support you with. So let's talk about making the connection with post-secondary institutions. To effectively engage post-secondary institutions for support of your early childhood education initiatives, start by researching your local colleges and universities, technical schools that offer ECE programs. Identify those key contacts, which could be department heads, professors, career service coordinators, academic advisors, and relevant student organizations. You want to create a concise email that explains what you need and what you're seeking to do. You want to highlight how your program can benefit and how the collaboration could enhance learning opportunities, community engagement, and sustainable pipeline for not only skilled workers, but students in their educational programs. Send the email or make the call, and if you don't hear anything back in a week or two, try again. Next slide, please. So connecting with adult education is accessible through various resources. So how do you find your adult education centers to make that connection? You're going to reach out to your community colleges, online platforms, your adult learning centers, workforce programs, public libraries, nonprofit and employer-sponsored programs, and government grants. These options provide flexible and targeted support and will help you meet your needs. Sometimes funding for adult education comes through federal programs and state grants, local government contributions like WIOA programs offered through local workforce boards, student tuition and fees like Pell Grants and scholarships, employer sponsorships, etc. All can help support your reaching out and connecting with your adult education program and help offset those costs. So where do you start? Again, you're going to reach out for that person, the vice principal, the career counselor, and then you're going to either send an email or make that cold call. And if you don't hear something in a week, you want to call them back. Let's talk about how ECE can help you and support these efforts with connecting with your secondary, post-secondary, and adult education programs. So ECE offers support and assistance. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So ECE offers a comprehensive range of support and assistance to new or expanding registered apprenticeship programs. We're here to help make the registration of your apprenticeship much easier. Our staff can meet you where you are in the process and customize support that meets your needs. We provide support for the development of registered apprenticeship program or expansion of existing programs. We support outreach and education. Our team can assess and align professional learning programs of your registered apprenticeship requirements and practices, including your ECE coursework and materials. We offer innovative apprentice recruitment materials and strategy, and we assist programs in exploring and utilizing multiple funding streams to support apprentice success and program sustainability. We do all that at no cost. Besides the support and assistance, in addition to the support and assistance, ECE offers an incentive fund. Eligibility for the Early Childhood Workforce Connector Incentive Fund is available to early childhood education registered apprenticeship sponsors or employers who partner with Early Childhood Workforce Connector to receive ongoing technical assistance. And this funding is correlated to each new apprentice enrolled within an established ECE registered apprenticeship program, or for startup costs for developing the ECE registered apprenticeship. This is one-time funding opportunity for registered apprenticeship sponsors or employers for up to $1,000 per apprentice with a cap of $40,000 per organization. The incentive fund cannot be used for wages and does not support the apprentice, but goes directly to the apprentice or the sponsor or the employer. On the slide is listed just a few ideas of how this fund could be used, such as classroom supplies, technology support, translation services, mentoring, training, all to support your ECE registered apprenticeship program. The funding is available for registered apprenticeship sponsors or employers to offset the cost of developing, implementing, or expanding registered apprenticeship program. To learn more, you'll want to contact the Early Childhood Workforce Connector. To contact us, on the left-hand side is the contact for the Early Childhood Workforce Connector through email, through LinkedIn, and also you can sign up for our newsletter, and also you can contact the council. Sandra gave us some wonderful information about the CDA and how it can support in high school or your registered apprenticeship program. So thank you so much. I'm going to turn it back over to Haley, and maybe there might be some questions. We have a few more minutes to see if we can get to anything, but Haley, take it away.
Thanks, April. It looks like we only have about 60 seconds left here, so I think we're going to skip the Q&A for now, and folks can send their questions to us directly after the webinar. A quick bit of housekeeping on our way out here. So first, we hope you'll join us for the culminating session of this series at the Early Educators Leadership Conference. You can find more information about this conference and register on the council website. Additionally, the next session in this series will be Pathways and Opportunities, Exploring Careers in Early Childhood Education and Embracing Registered Apprenticeship in July. And the episode after that will be Turning the Tide, Addressing Pay and Benefits in ECE Jobs in August. Finally, make sure you're joining the Council Alumni Network, where all the episodes of this series is currently living. Anyone can join the network, regardless of whether or not you have earned your CDA. So I hope to see you there. And that's all we have for y'all today. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your day.